to impress the men she flirts with, Rosie resolved. Glancing at the bedside clock, she realized that she had been keeping her vigil for her wayward mother for over an hour. I expect Daddy's worried sick. But what does she care, so long as she's having a good time, she thought. She clambered up and closed the curtains. Then she crossed the floor to switch on the light, and for a while continued to pace back and forth, occasionally peering through the gap between the curtains and growing increasingly agitated. The minutes ticked by, and with still no sign of her mother, Rosie went to sit at the dressing table. Absent-mindedly studying her reflection in the mirror, she was greatly relieved that she had not inherited her mother's striking looks, or her bad temper either. Although her own hair was waist-length like her mother's, that was where the resemblance ended, because Rosie's hair was the same light chestnut colour as her father's, while Molly's was dark and fell in luscious waves. Rosie's strong blue eyes were also inherited from her father's side of the family, although her father's eyes were tinged with a hint of green, which deepened when he was angry, which was not very often. Anxiously, Rosie studied herself in the mirror, thinking of her mother and the unkind things she would say. Molly often complained that she found it hard to believe that she had such a plain-looking daughter. "You remind me of my sister Kathleen," she would tease spitefully. "She was always the plain, shy girl at school. At playtime she would stand in the corner while everyone else was having fun. When we were younger, the boys always came after me. They never went for her. She would probably been left on the shelf if it hadn't been for your Uncle Paddy. Like her, he's a plain-looking sort with not much about him. They're two of a kind," she'd smirk. "I always knew they would get together, but only after Loverboy had enjoyed playing the field." Rosie knew this was unjust. Uncle Patrick and Auntie Kathleen were funny, kind, and a devoted couple. Rosie loved them dearly, as she did Harry, Patrick's son from his first marriage. Over the years, Rosie had often been shocked at her mother's cruel remarks about her family. There'd been one particular occasion that she would never forget when she was just 5 years of age. As the memories of that awful episode crowded her mind, she forced herself to concentrate on the path alongside the big barn, but the darkness had thickened and all was quiet, save for the occasional howl of a lonely dog. Rosie moved closer to the window, peering into the darkness and listening for the familiar click-clack of high-heeled shoes against the concrete path. "Where are you?" Rosie muttered angrily. "Why do you never come home when you should? And who are you with when you're not with us?" She realized that she was mimicking the questions her father might ask of his wayward wife. Troubled, she moved away from the window. "All right, stay away then," she grumbled. "If you don't come home, we'll be happier without you." Close to tears, she recalled that many times over the years her mother had said to her, "I don't love you, and I never will." Her cruel words had cut Rosie to the heart, but it was the events of her 5th birthday that played through her head so strongly this evening. Surprisingly, for the first time ever, her mother had organized a wonderful party for her only child. She'd also made a cake with candles and pretty icing, and Rosie was especially thrilled when the children from neighbouring farms were invited to celebrate her birthday with her. Normally, her mother did not like Rosie mixing with what she called the rabble, but that day, for whatever reason, she decided to break the habit and be nice to everyone. John teasingly told his wife it was because Rosie was going to start school the following morning, and she would not have the child under her feet every day. It was such a happy day for Rosie. All the children stood in a little group to sing happy birthday, before cheering 5 times, 1 cheer for each of her years. She was thrilled, and afterwards she thanked her mother for making her birthday so wonderful. The joy of her party, however, was short-lived, because after everyone had gone home, Molly threw a tantrum. She complained about the noise and the mess, about the washing up, and about one of the children weeing on the bathroom floor, which she forced Rosie to clean up. Afterwards, she ordered Rosie to bed. Being afraid of her mother's swift and dangerous change of mood, Rosie ran up the stairs and quickly climbed into bed.